For 15.2, we're going to be talking about measures of center. So a measure of center is a way of looking at the middle of the data. And there are several ways that you can find the middle of the data. And depending on what you're looking for, you'll want to use a different measure of center. So let's take a look at these different measures of center. So the first one is called the mean. Now the mean is, grab my book to give you the mathematical definition. So the mean is the sum of the items. So the sum, which means to add. So the sum of the items in a set of data divided by the number of items. So another word you might hear used for this is called the average. So if I score on a test, so I use this a lot in class. So if I have kids scoring 90%, 60%, 50%, 100%, right? I add those all together. I find the sum, and then I divide that answer by how many kids took the test, and that gives me a middle, my measure of center, my average, right? So I'm hoping the class usually does at least 80%, right? I feel good if our average is 80% on a test. So average, you add them up, divide by how many there are. So our two steps, add up the numbers, and 2, divide by the number of data points. So this one here, we would do this one and add these up. So 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14, 21, 30. Well, these are nice so far. So here we have 38. Okay, so I'm at 38. I'm going to grab a little marker here. Actually, I'm going to scoot this word over. So we're at 38. Okay, so here I have 15. And actually, I'm going to do 14. I'm going to go 7 and 7 is 14. 7, 14, 21, 28. And another 8. So 28 plus 8, 10 more would be 38 minus 2 is 36. So, right, I'm adding these all together. So go ahead and add these up with me. So here we have 14 and 74. So we have a total of 74, a sum of 74, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items. So we're dividing by 10. So can't go into 7, but it goes into 74 7 times, and 4 left over. I'm going to add that decimal place, and it goes into 44 times. So my average, or my mean, is 7.4. So that's a good middle indication of all of those numbers. So you did that activity, finding that balancing point yesterday, right? Moving them till they're balanced. That's what this is. We're moving them all until they're all sharing the same amount, 7.4. The average, or the mean, finds that sharing point. So the next one is the median. So the median is the middle number, but the numbers must be in order. So the middle of an ordered set of data. So they must be ordered, okay? So put these in order. So when we have an odd amount and an even amount, we have to do it a little bit different. But our first step is always the same. Put the numbers least to greatest. So let's start with that. So I can see I have a 2, And I always like to leave a little bit of space just in case I find one later, right? I don't want to put my next one right next to it because, right, I might find another 2 later. I need to squish in there. So now I have a 3, right? So I could put another number here if I needed to. And I see a 4 and a 5, a 6 and a 6. Oh, see another 5. Okay, 5, 6, 6, 8, 8. Okay, so I have all my numbers in order. And then the second thing I'm going to do is we're going to cross off 1 on each side until we find the middle. But we got it right, 1 on each side. So this 2 crosses out the 8. The 3 crosses out the 8. So do this with me, 4 and 6, 5 and 6. I'm left with the 5. So when you have an odd number, you should always just have 1 left. So let's try an even set here. So let's put these in order. So we have, so same thing, right? First we have to put numbers least to greatest. So let's try that right down here. So I'm seeing 3 is my lowest, and then I have a 5, leaving a little space in case I find a missing one. So 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8 and 8, 8, 8, and we've got a 9 and a 14. Okay, so now we are going to cross off just like before. 3, 14, 5, 9, 6, 8, 7, 8. But this time I am left with 2 in the middle. Okay, now this one is nice because they're the same. So I know it's 7, right? But if they were different, you would add them up, find the mean of them actually. So if I had one that was, let's say one was 10 and one was 14. So those were the 2 I found in the middle. I'm going to add them up, 10 plus 14, and then, right, there was 2 of them, and I'm going to divide them by 2. So my middle of those would be 12. So if you have an even amount, so you're going to cross off each side until there are 2 left in the middle, add together, and divide by 2. So this one was nice, right? 7 plus 7 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 2. But this one here, right, 7, so it was already the same. But if they're different, same thing. Add them together, divide by 2 because there was 2 there. So when you have an odd number, that's your friend because there's just going to be 1 left. Even number, you're going to have to find the middle of the middle, but you always have to put the median in order. We're not just finding the middle of these random numbers like this. Put them in order. Okay, so now we have our mode. The mode is the mode is the number that occurs the most. I always remember, right, the mode, most, mode, most, mode, most, right? They both, M-O, M-O, mode, most, mode, most, mode, most. So if I'm looking at this set of data, so I can see I have 1, 3, right? 1, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7. Ooh, only 2 8s. So my mode for this set of data is 7. I have 3 7s. That on my dot plot would be 3 up. I'd have 2 8s and only 1 of everything else. So now the deal with the mode is you could have 1 mode, right? In this case, we have 1. We have 1 number that's more than everything else. You could have 1. Sometimes we have a tie, right? I could have more than 1. Or if they're all equal, there's none of them that occur more than the other. They're all the same. Or none or no mode. So you could have one like we do. You could have 2 or 3 if there's a couple of them that are tied. Or if they're all the same, you could have no mode. Okay, our last two are outlier. So an outlier is a number that is going to be, it lies outside of your set of data. So it is a number that is different than, okay, so a number that is different than the set of data. So most of them are going to be grouped together, and then you'll have one that's maybe different on the dot plot. So I can see here, right, if I'm putting these on a dot plot, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'd have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'd have this big space here, and then 14. So I've got that big gap there. This 14, oh my gosh, all right, so this 14 is our outlier because it's different than the rest of them. The rest of them are all in this group, and that 14 is lying outside of that set of data. It's different than the rest of them. Okay, and then the range is the difference, subtraction, between the largest and smallest data point. So our largest data point in here is 14. The smallest one is 3. And the difference is 11. So the range of our data spans 11 data points. So there you go. Sorry about all the announcements. We did it! So be sure to watch the little mean, median, mode video that is after this in Canvas to get those words stuck in your head.